States summer camp for adults.
Right.
So why not have summer camp for adults? Why not have quick start format for adults?
The same as kids.
Right.
We're
then-
just starting a videotape here. We're in the middle of talking to Elliot. What's your last name?
DeBolt.
DeBolt. At the Players Club in Naples, Florida, and this is just for my notes so I don't forget and kind of get used to the video being on. How's my hair look? Okay, good. But we were talking about what market to bring kids in, and you were saying that basically that may not be the way to look at it. Or may look at the
Not the
adults.
only way to look at it.
Right.
In addition to, so how can you bridge the gap? I think one way to get some adults in, especially with the younger crowd, is if you want to do target kids, get an assistant and run more of a cardio intro tennis for the parents. Okay, so I teach a lot of 10 and under classes. You get 6 or 8 parents sitting there together.
Yeah.
Okay, all usually fairly young ladies, fit, right? And they just kind of hang out, sitting around, not necessarily engaged in tennis themselves. Well, if you had a way to get them involved on court instead of just sitting there
watching, yeah.
Get them up and playing.
Yeah.
Most of the facilities we're at, they have the room. We have the room to use the facility. It comes down to having somebody next to you who is as pushing, and then you can split the group in half. I would say if you and I were working this together, you spend 35 minutes with the kids and then 35 minutes with the parents.
Yeah.
So both parents and kids get two.
So what are you doing sitting around? Get your butt out here.
Exactly. And they gear it that way. So now they don't have to. Now they can come to tennis camp and get their workout in.
Right. So
now we're spreading tennis to 2 groups.
Yeah.
At once. So. It's not, I don't look at it as just for juniors, because like I mentioned earlier, I've got guys at my age, 27, 25, 27, that I get involved to play tennis.
Yeah.
Never touched a tennis racket before. Some of them end up joining leagues, some of them quit playing.
I remember at Paseo, I had everybody out in our little quad there, because they knew I was working with Denny, and I had everybody out right in the quad. We set up. We were just hitting balls back and forth. And one of my neighbor's daughters went to college, and then she took it up in college because of a few things I told her right there. You never know what's gonna spark somebody.
And I always even tell my juniors if they don't play college tennis, at the NCAA level, play club, play intercollegiate, play. Get out, play with your roommates. It's great. You meet great people through tennis.
Oh yeah, that's another thing about the environment with
you
tennis.
Meet great people through
you
tennis.
Don't hear people like you do in basketball and football, and maybe it's because the sports in America is probably not as popular as those sports, but I don't remember anybody. Maybe Jennifer Capriati, I don't remember any big tennis stars that got into major trouble, because it's a good environment.
It is.
I liked it because it was one-on-one.
Yeah, that was what drew me to it.
Yeah.
So I played baseball, and I played soccer.
This is the first time we met, by the way.
So I played soccer, played baseball, and even at a young age, it's just it wasn't intense enough.
Mm-hmm.
You could stand around for quite some time to wait to hit a baseball. You could stand around until
somebody
hits.
That was boring to me.
To me, it was. Then you play a sport like at 10, 11 years old, where you have to handle your own frustrations, your own emotions, your own. Your dad can't talk to you once that set starts. You're on your own. Your coach can't talk to you. So now you're 10 years old, and you're mentally game planning. How many 10-year-olds now are mentally game planning?
Yeah.
Trying to keep their composure, keep their strokes going. So to me, it was a lot more mentally engaging, and then not only that, more physically engaging.
Yeah.
You had to be in way better shape to play tennis at a higher level, I felt, than maybe not the physical brute strength of a football player or a baseball player, but the explosiveness.
Oh yeah, it's a short little burst.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
and then recover.
I don't know. I played matches that I would have rather ran
Yeah. So spreading the game, I think it one attracts a certain type of person. Some people need the support of the team.
Yeah.
So how do you get those people to feel comfortable? I like a world team tennis format. You know, at the beginner level, mixed, get all levels involved, singles, doubles.
Kind of like the way to do camps.
Yeah.
Getting everybody involved. Yeah, it's challenging to do the camps because I remember when I did them, we split them up into two groups, but everybody learns differently. The game, Jennifer and I were talking about that earlier. The games are really important. You know, getting we played Foursquare and the dodgeball thing and jail and all these little games that the kids really seem to enjoy, and that made she was talking about how if you just come out and start teaching technique, the kids are going to get bored out of their minds. So
you have to figure out how you can. When I work with kids who are in that transitional age, maybe from like orange dot ball to a regular ball, you really want to start instilling in ways that you can make games where they're directional hitting.
Yeah.
They have a target in mind. They have a clear goal. Okay, I need the ball in this zone to be successful. You know, you play the same game that they were used to at a young age. You just start focusing down where that ball has to land.
Yeah.
And then you play the game 3 different times, and now you have 3 different locations around the court. So, because I want them at that age to be able to control the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might have one target that was short, one that was deep, and then one that was wide. And now you've played the game that they're used to as a kid, just being able to hit anywhere over the net or maybe in the court. So as they start that progression, you just start narrowing that focus down. You know, and that's one thing with the kids that I enjoy watching is to start seeing them be able to do that.
I had so much fun with the kids. You know, it was just...
So I agree to an extent, but there's ways to work on the technique and play those games and still get everything you need out of it.
So mix it in a way that's you're still definitely focusing on technique and tennis, but make it as fun as possible. I think fun's a key. But then there's different groups too. I mean, and then
there's some kids that just click to it, and they don't need that.
Yeah.
That reassurance pat on the back.
Yeah.
There's some kids, I use him as an example. Greatest, his father's got connections, but Emilio Sanchez, I got an opportunity to see play this year. 9 years old. Emilio Sanchez's son, youngest son, and I'm telling you, he's probably not playing a whole lot of Foursquare or beat the ball around the middle of the court. This kid at 9 is intense. It's an intense training session where he's at. So how do you gear how do you tell a kid's mentally able to handle that at his age? And some kids they want popsicles and reward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was telling Jennifer that before I got married and had kids, that girls used to ask me, "Do you like kids?" And I would say, "Some of them." because I think we forget they're just people. Yeah. All with different personalities and different ways of doing things, and had different backgrounds and environments. So you have to find a way. If you're doing a group, you have to find a way for everybody to participate, but also teach individually and psychologically with those type of each different personality type. Kids they're some are amazing, some are wonderful, some are little pains in the butts that you have to direct in a different way. And I hate to say that. I don't mean.
But I hate to say it too. But you look at the same thing as you look into a beginner clinic. Mm-hmm. You see the same personalities.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever lose that from being.
No.
You might
talking about adults.
Yeah, you might learn how to control it a little better. But I still think we see here, at the Players Club, we have probably more interaction with beginner adults than we do beginner kids.
Yeah.
Unless it's the summertime naturally, but our core, our bread and butter here is adult tennis players.
Yeah.
That's who we deal with.
So what's your Denny? I was hitting with him one time, and he told me that I was digging out volleys. He's like, that's good. You can't teach that, um, you can't coach that, or what do you think is the most difficult thing to teach?
The most difficult.
I mean,
thing
in general.
to teach. I think in general, it's understanding the path of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's difficult for most people to see is
I'm learning here too.
It's understanding that ball is in motion to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'll come out and watch a lot of beginners. They tend to jam themselves. You know, and instead of setting up and understanding that ball is traveling forward. So it's that perception of moving to that ball, but understanding that ball is also moving to you. Sometimes it's not going to make a big hop. Sometimes it's going to stay low. So I think the hardest thing for
top spinners,
slice,
yeah,
miss hit off the other opponent's racket, picking up on those things early. I think that's the intangibles of the game that I think are the toughest for players to get over. Now, something like picking up half volleys, that comes down to a person's sheer athleticism.
Yeah, and
that's somebody that understands. You see the situation, you understand what has to happen, so you can dig that volley out low. You know, for some players, again, going back to what we are here, let's assume that we have tennis 101.
I said that because as a compliment Denny gave me, he doesn't give me a lot.
Yeah. He won't give out many. We have tennis 101 here, tennis 102, which is another step up. I hit with a guy this morning, Mike Barboso. I hope I didn't butcher his last name. He came out of that tennis 101 program.
Mm-hmm.
Never played. First time tennis player.
How old is he?
Late 50s.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't give me an exact age, but I'll ballpark him. Sorry, Mike. But I would think he's in his late 50s. He didn't play many other sports growing up. He was apprehensive to start playing once he moved here, but he moved in the neighborhood. He says, we live in a tennis community. Why not go play? And he's very social about it. He wants to compete, but it's not his main goal. He wants to enjoy the game, get some exercise, something to do with his wife. He enjoys that everybody comes out and drinks coffee on the patio afterwards, and he enjoys the whole camaraderie and atmosphere that we have for him here. And he's awesome. An absolute. It is, and it really is. He's for tennis players. It's
I'm gonna do a tour of the facility too.
It really is for tennis players. I mean, it's just top notch, and the layout's great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's conducive to what we want, what we need here. But Mike was mentioning that, he came out of that 101, never playing before, leaving into 102 feeling like, okay, I can play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's playing in this men's group we have going on this weekend that Denny's running, this mentor program that we've got going, which is phenomenal. So now his game, he's starting to feel better, more confident. So he's enjoying the game more and more and more. So, this little program that we've got for him is going to be nice. I'm meeting with him for the next 5 weeks.
Wow, man.
So we've got we have some goals we set today, my first time on court with him. And again, I don't think there's anything, even him as a beginner, that we're putting on him that is too difficult for him to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I mentioned with the kids, we're going to get better at hitting the ball where we want more often. So we're working on two things, placement and consistency. Okay?
That's cool.
And now he can play the game. Because again, we want these guys to come out of these clinics understanding how to play the game, not hit.
Yeah.
Hitting is great, that's one thing, but I want them to be able to play the game. And that's how they're going to enjoy the game.
Yeah, understand strategy.
Right, start seeing it. So, Mike is a product of the tennis 101 and a new tennis player at a later age in life. So now he'll play tennis as long as he can.
Yeah,
he loves it. So will he pull in 2, 3, 4 other players just like him? I don't know. I like to think it.
But on average, somebody like that would.
I think he will.
I think so.
So can the game grow? Let me
pause it.
Sorry, man. So can the game grow in that aspect as well, in the social club level? Can we grow it inside of our domain without targeting juniors only? But how do we reach the juniors indirectly? If we can't get them in the door here, how do we reach them indirectly? We know they're going to be a part of this future of tennis.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we include them as well? I feel like that the junior and the adult training and intermingling them a little bit
Yeah.
Make them do it together, and then run a father-son tournament, mother-daughter tournament, mixed tournament, something like that. You know,
Ideas are endless.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's why I was doing this, man. Because I'm gonna make the website, and really I just wanted to do something to promote the game and to go around and get, I like to get everybody's input to see the different, everybody has different backgrounds that they came up in the game or whatever, but get everybody different perspectives on where they think the game is going, what's best for it, just what and really interacting with how society is going, because you have to. That's a huge factor, the economy and how do we bring the game to people that may never have even thought of it, never been introduced to it, never even. And like when I started playing in 4th or 5th grade, whenever it was, it's because the kids were playing, and that was kind of the cool thing. The rich kids, I guess, were playing, and it got me into country clubs. It got me into places that I never would have been able to go if I couldn't hit a tennis ball.
100%. Same upbringing for me. And I wanted to play.
Yeah.
And the game is, like I said, for me, it really attracted my personality. So, I remember, growing up, needing to put in extra work.
I used to ride my bike 5 miles, sometimes 10 miles to go play for 5 hours,
I had to,
6
I
hours
had to
and
earn,
ride
I had
back.
to earn my keep at a lot of the academies I went to.
Yeah.
Some of the guys were really, really good to me. Denny, especially one. The whole On the Rise family that was there when I was training with those guys, super good to me and my family.
Right.
Fred Kangwa. But also, I had to put in the time for that. Down here we have bougainvillea bushes, these big, spiny, thorny bushes. So my summer job.
What are they called?
Bougainvilleas?
I'm sure I've seen them.
They got those purple flowers. They got these big thorns,
yeah,
big burly bush.
Okay.
And I get dropped off. I get dropped off at tennis camp at the Forest one time, and my dad hands me a sweater, a pair of jeans, gloves, and big goggles.
Mm-hmm.
And goes, by the way, Fred wants all the tennis balls out of those bougainvillea. And it went all the way, went the length of 3 courts.
Oh my God.
And it went the length of 3 courts around the whole property. This way, it's big L-shaped bougainvillea bush. So trained for 2.5 hours, put an hour in the bougainvillea bush, put 2.5 hours.
I put all them rocks around the outside courts out there, by the way, here.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got to do what you got to do to earn your keep, But you're willing to do that because you want to play.
Right. Did some of it for free, Denny.
That's right. So you're willing to go that. There's something about the attraction in the game that people like us will ride that bike. We'll crawl through the bushes of thorns to keep playing. And what is it? How do you share that with people? And I think that's what we're going to find out, the three of us sitting down, me, Denny, and myself. I think that's something we'll be able to hash out.
Well, it's in there, man.
Sounds good.
Great meeting you.
It's been a pleasure.
It was
Brad. It's been great.
We are gonna. This is kind of just the initial interview with the pros thing that I'm starting. So this